my mom, my mother, had 3 children. Well, there's still 3 of us. I have 2 older sisters, Amelia and Eleanor. History-inspired names to please my dad. And then there's me, Jenny. Okay, full disclosure, my given name is Virginia. And no, I wasn't conceived in a romantic location on the banks of the Potomac or named after my mother's choice of poison, Virginia Slim's menthol. My given name is in fact a tribute to my mother's favorite author, Virginia Woolf. You know, the 17th century writer, maybe it was 18th century. I was never good at history. That's my dad's department, literally. He chaired the Department of History at an all-girls academy here on the East Coast. Met my mom there too. She was the star of the English department. Oh, that's another weak subject of mine. Truthfully, I never excelled at anything, not really, except in disappointing my mother. Oh, and calorie counting. I know the calorie content of hundreds of foods, such as diced watermelon is 46 calories a cup. Starbucks cranberry orange scone, a whopping $4.90, equivalent to 2 slices of Domino's thin crust pizza. I actually thought Weight Watchers was the only interest my mother and I had in common. I remember the last meeting that we attended together. She said, and I'll never forget it, she said, "Cremation is my last hope at a smoking hot body." Be careful what you wish for, Mom. Last Monday, my mom passed, departed, went on a permanent vacation. She cashed in her chips, kicked the oxygen habit. My mom loved euphemisms. The only thing she loved more than euphemisms were my dad, of course, and the CEO and the patent lawyer, those are my sisters, a rich vocabulary, and her sports sedan, a pre-owned Lexus. Oh, the color of my mother's eyes. Breathtaking. My brown-eyed father, he was inconsolable these past few months, absent like my sisters. My dad would recite the names and dates of all the civil wars to the private nurse that Amelia hired in Aussie from Victoria, she said, while I entertained Mom with outdated laws. Like in Florida, women can be fined for falling asleep under a hairdryer. In North Carolina, bingo games can't last longer than 5 hours. We played board games incessantly, Mom and I, and sometimes we let her nurse, Maureen, join us, and off the record, we would let Maureen cheat at Monopoly, especially on those last few nights when Mom's secretions were so thick she had to struggle for every breath, and it was so scary. But I don't regret 1 minute that we spent together. I don't. Made our first gingerbread house. Pulled the filling out of my back molar on a gumdrop, 17 calories. Oh, we alternated between tic-tac-toe and hangman while Mom filled out her advance directives. And the last project that we worked on was a felt bunny, a finger puppet. And Mom had already cut out the body painstakingly, as if her life depended on it. That was a bad choice of words, because suddenly the room, the entire house, filled with her wheezing and her coughing, and in the chaos, I misplaced the pattern for the puppet. Yep. And just as Mom was settling down, I had cut out ears that were too large. I put the rabbit's tail, I glued it in the wrong place. I added the puppet's eyes, just as the Mom was pulling at her bed sheets, calling out incoherently, pointing to the window. And when I made out a few slurred words, I think she was asking for her Lexus. So I sprang into action. My impulse was to back her car out of the garage and into the driveway and cross the lawn to her window. Instead, I backed her blue Lexus out of the garage, and coward that I am, I drove home. They say that closure is overrated. That's good to know. Mom died that night. Eleanor took care of the flower arrangements and my dental bill. Amelia completed the paperwork for our mother's cremation, and I dropped off Mom's remains to Dad this morning. And I found him in the backyard giving a blow-by-blow description of the Battle of Gettysburg to Maureen, our godsend. She stopped by to check up on him and to drop off a gift for me. She wrapped it in a box with a bow made out of blue duct tape, one of my mother's favorite craft supplies. You can make bookmarks, picture frames, coasters, even bracelets. I opened the box, and under a sheet of tissue paper was, you're never gonna guess. You wanna guess? You're never gonna guess. It was the finger puppet. And I said, I'm paraphrasing, but I said, what's with the effing bunny? And in that steady voice that I counted on for the past 60 days, Maureen corrected me, and she said, it's a lepus. That's Latin for a hare or a rabbit. L-E-P-U-S, lepus. They're widespread in Victoria. And as I gently removed the puppet from the box, Maureen touched my hand and she said, it's the last thing your mother asked for. I need my blue lepus. I think her eyes are breathtaking. Don't you? Just like my mother's.